I read an article in the Oregonian about a law enforcement officer that had to be disciplined for slacking off in his job. But get this, the name of the officer was Officer Doolittle. Now anyways, Officer Doolittle was a canine handler for the Westland Police Department, and during the entirety of the 2012-2013 year, he responded to a grand total of 1 call. The officer was eventually forced to retire. Now, contrast that with what Paul says in Colossians chapter 3, verses 23 and 24. Paul says, "Whatever you do, work heartily as for the Lord and not for men." And then skipping ahead, you are serving the Lord Christ. So why did Paul tell them to work so hard? Was it so that they could get a promotion? So that they could make a lot of money? No. They were told to work hard simply because they were working for the Lord. Now, I didn't show you the verse right before that, but in verse 22, we see that Paul's not talking to pastors or missionaries or some people like those types of jobs. Instead, he's giving this command to slaves. Slaves, by their very definition, by their very job title, work for someone else. Yet Paul says, hey, you slaves, you actually work for the Lord. Now listen, no matter what you do for work, no matter who signs your paychecks, if you have put your faith in Jesus Christ, then you ultimately work for God. And with that in mind, let me ask you, do your actions show that? Do your actions show that you work for God or that you work for someone else? The amazing thing is that if you live with the mindset that you work for God, then no matter what job you're in, you can glorify Him. And so you don't need to be a pastor to glorify God. You can be in any job and glorify Him. You just need to work with the mindset that your ultimate employer is God. Pastor Chuck Swindoll tells a story about how he was speaking at a conference to laypersons, so to non-pastors, and he was challenging them to see their work as sacred and as called by God. And at the close of the conference, someone asked Tom what he did for a job, and Tom responded by saying, "I'm an ordained plumber." And listen, that is exactly what each of you all are. Wherever you go, whatever job you have, your employer, God, is calling you to work for Him and to live out your calling live out that calling that He's given you in your life. And so whatever you do for work, I challenge you to work hard, but don't do it just to get a promotion. Don't do it just to get money. Do it because you are working for God. As an employee of the heavenly kingdom, live out that employment in your job.